Hello, hi everyone. I'm gonna keep this short because I know everybody's here for the food. But before we dive in though, I wanted to make a quick announcement. Woo Can Cook is opening its very first physical location in West Oakland at the Prescott Market Food Hall. Yes, after more than 3 years, we are finally graduating out of our 10x10 Easy Up tent into our very own real life kitchen, y'all. Before we do this though, I am also crowdfunding a small portion of our financing because it's gonna be really expensive. So there's a bunch of cool rewards that I think a lot of folks have been waiting for, like Woo Can Cook t-shirts, aprons, virtual and in-person cooking classes, and a bunch more stuff. So if this sounds like something that you might be interested in, it would mean the world to me if you could donate whatever that you are able to, or if not, simply sharing the campaign link also helps a lot too. More about this in the link in the description, or visit woocancook.com/eats for more information too. Okay, back to the food. Hello, hi everyone. Welcome back to Woo Can Cook. My name is Wesley, and this is a show where we are slowly cooking our way through all of the food from my childhood. Today we're kicking off a brand new series dedicated to the wonderfully diverse array of small plates, side dishes, condiments, and accompaniments that are essential to Pan-Asian cuisine. This, of course, includes a whole gamut of sauces and oils like sambal oelek, sweet chili sauce, chili crisp oil, gochujang, and more that have left many viewers of this channel wondering, how do I make that stuff myself though? But more specifically today, we're taking a look at probably the most requested side dish in the history of Woo Can Cook, which is, of course, kimchi. For those not familiar, kimchi is a Korean small plate banchan dish that most prominently features a salted Napa cabbage that has been fermented and seasoned in a combination of fish sauce and a Korean chili powder known as gochugaru to give it its signature bright red color. Those following this channel will certainly be no stranger to kimchi, of course, since we've used the jarred stuff in pretty much every Korean recipe that we've done now, so it is absolutely long overdue that we dive into making this stuff ourselves. For our version today, we're taking a few tips from the Maanchi recipe book, also known as the definitive resource for all things Korean, and making our kimchi paste with a rice porridge made from sweet mochiko rice flour to give it a thicker and more mixable texture. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so diving right in, we're kicking things off here first with our Napa cabbage with the age-old debate of should I chop my cabbage before or after it has been fermented, to which the answer is it depends. For our version today, I'm going with what's known as a mok or easy kimchi by large dicing our cabbage before the ferment because it's going to be a lot easier when it comes time to coat our cabbage in our kimchi paste. For those keeping track though, in a traditional pogi kimchi, our Napa cabbage head would be sliced into quarters with the root end still attached to hold the leaves together. Then the kimchi paste would be painstakingly applied individually in between each leaf of cabbage, one at a time. This, on the one hand, will yield a crunchier kimchi with a more even fermentation since the attached root will help the cabbage retain more water, but on the other hand, it will also take way longer. So, choose for yourselves accordingly, but both options have their merits though. In any case, once our cabbage is diced up, I'm giving it a quick rinse for dirt and bugs, then adding to my largest mixing bowl so that we may toss this in a half cup of kosher salt. Once coated, next I'm adding enough water to my mixing bowl to fully submerge all of my cabbage, then setting this aside to marinate for 1 hour. Moving on to our remaining veggies next. Now, a kimchi can have as many or as few additional veggies in it as you'd like. If you want, you could just use cabbage here. Personally, I think that the only requirement in a kimchi is the cabbage, but daikon radish, cucumbers, green onions, carrots, and many other veggies are all common additions here too. For our version today, I've got 6 green onions that I'm slicing into planks then setting aside, followed by 2 medium carrots that I'm peeling and julienning as well. Then next, over on the stove, moving on to our rice porridge, I'm adding a half cup of mochiko rice flour to a medium saucepan, then combining with 3 cups of water and simmering this over medium-low heat, whisking constantly for about 5 minutes until a thickened paste forms like so. Mochiko flour is the same stuff that we use to make mochi rice balls, meaning that it will have a lightly sweet quality to it, not unlike mochi. For those that can't find this stuff though, we can also achieve a similar sweetness and texture from an Asian pear. Either or both of these will work great here. As you might have noticed, though, this is not an Asian pear, this is an apple, which I'm peeling, coring, then rough chopping before tossing into my food processor. Now, we have talked about this before, and I will stand by my previous statement. An apple is absolutely not the same thing as an Asian pear. It is much sweeter with a little bit more juice to it too. So, I'm not a huge fan of this sub, but in a pinch, it will have to do because I forgot to pick up some Asian pears today. But as you know, just keep in mind that if you do this swap, your kimchi is just going to be a little bit sweeter than normal, that's all. In any case, moving right along, next up, this is a half of a medium white onion that I'm also peeling and rough chopping before adding to my food processor, followed by 4 cloves of crushed and peeled garlic and 1 inch of similarly peeled and rough chopped ginger to round out our kimchi paste. I'm blitzing this in the food processor until a smooth paste begins to form, then adding this all to a large mixing bowl and combining with 3/4 cup of Korean chili powder or gochugaru, 1/2 cup of fish sauce, and of course our rice porridge to round this all out. I'm mixing this all to combine here first, then setting aside for a moment while we circle back to our cabbage, now marinated to perfection. We're starting by straining off this water here first, then adding this all to my kimchi paste, tossing to combine, and that's it. We're adding this all to a jar, making sure that the lip of the jar is cleaned before sealing it up, and storing in a dry, cool place for 1 week before refrigerating, and we're ready to eat. Okay, so I will again reiterate, if we're making pogi kimchi, or in other words, kimchi fermented in its whole leaf, we would be spending easily at least another half an hour painstakingly coating each leaf of cabbage in its kimchi paste, 1 leaf at a time. And while yes, I do believe that the final product would have been relatively better, as many of you know, I am also always a sucker for shortcuts that make it more likely that you all are actually going to attempt this recipe, so here we are. All this said, I do think that our Mok Easy kimchi still knocks the socks off of literally every jarred kimchi that I've ever had. Our cabbage is crisp and crunchy with a bright umami quality to it that's not overly sour or briny, as is often what I come across with kimchi that has been over-fermented. Then our extra veggies here are a nice addition too, since they give a wonderful change of texture to our kimchi, which I love. Finally, the last bit that I'll mention is that I am also in love with the thick and dense texture of our kimchi paste, thanks to our mochiko rice flour that we've incorporated. The thicker quality helps the paste adhere to the cabbage and veggies a lot more, and sort of reminds me of the really fancy, expensive kimchi that I've had in a lot of Korean restaurants. Okay, so that's it everyone. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you give this one a shot. For those who are new to the channel, this one is part of a new series that we've been doing that's dedicated to small plates, side dishes, and accompaniments. So definitely check out that series next if you haven't yet, because there's going to be a lot of these. For the Bay Area locals, the Woo Can Cook fried rice pop-up is now at the West Oakland Farmers Market every Sunday, so come by and say hi then if you can. More about that at woocancook.com/eats. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, be nice to interneters, and I'll see you soon.